All right, guys, let's talk about how do we rapidly move the aircraft from a hover into forward flight. Let's say that we are evading something or we need to just get going really fast. All right, so we're up here at a hover. I don't have any stores on just because I don't, and it'll make it a little bit easier to show, but you know, this will work no matter what your weight is. It's just a matter of how much you can pull into it. Now, what a lot of guys want to do is they think, well, I need power. And they're going to pull in the collective and then they're going to try to do stuff. Notice how my nose slid over to the right. I didn't command that. I mean, I guess I sort of did command it because I pulled in the collective, right? That's torque. What's going to happen? The rotor is spinning to the left. So torque tells us that the nose is going to spin to the right. All right, so if you're doing that, you're going to create that uncommanded yaw. So let's do that again. We're in a nice stable hover, 82, 81% torque. All right, I'm going to pull in that power because that's what I need. And suddenly my nose is going right. Look at my torque is spiking out of control. All right, that's just not a good place to be. All right, so let's get back to a hover. Let's talk about an easier way to just get the aircraft going. What we have to understand is it's kind of like riding a bike. You can't just go from 0 to 60 on a bike. Or, you know, maybe not 60, but fast. You can't just go from 0 to fast on a bike. It takes a few seconds to get the momentum going, right? That's even true for jets. They're super awesome flame shooting engines, right? It takes a few seconds for it to kick in. It's the same thing here, right? So what we're going to do instead is I'm not going to move anything on the collective. I'm going to put in some right pedal. I'm going to nose it over just a little bit. Notice I haven't even touched the collective. I mean, my hand's on the collective, but that's it. And I'm just changing the pitch of my blades, of my rotor disc with the cyclic. And I'm making corrections with my pedal. I haven't trimmed it. I haven't done anything. All right, I'm going to hit the trimmer for the first time because it's a little bit janky now. All right, so there I've hit the trimmer. I'm kind of fighting that a little bit. But I didn't pull in the collective at all. And look, we're already at 97 knots, okay, which I know is not fast, but it's fast for helicopters, all right? We're accelerating. All right, so we don't need to pull the guts out of the aircraft in order to make that happen. So let's go ahead and slow down, and we'll talk about it again. Try something else. All right, so once again, we're at a hover, and let's say that suddenly we take fire from the front, and we want to get out of here. We don't want to go forward. All I'm going to do is I'm going to pitch back the nose. I'm going to put in some right pedal. Bring in just a little bit of collective so I don't hit those trees. Lower the collective back down. Go to transition mode. And now we're cruising away. All right, what was that? 3 seconds, maybe? And we're at 74 knots accelerating. All right, so let's do that one more time, and I'll show you how we do that. All right, so let's talk about that again. What did we do, and how did we do that? All right, very simple, and most of you probably, it's not rocket science, right? There's nothing crazy about what we're doing. I keep saying there's a big arrow sticking out of the top of my rotor system. That's the only thing that I really care about, okay? I'm managing the rotor. Everything else is just kind of hanging from the rotor right now. I'm dealing with the rotor and that big-ass arrow shooting out of the top because that's my thrust. Right, it's my lift, but I transitioned that arrow size and shape and distance, and I turn that into thrust. So all I want to do is get that thrust going backwards, right? Because the direction I want to go is behind me. My nose isn't pointing that way, but that's the direction I want to go. I'm going to go ahead and get I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to push the arrow. Now, what else could I do? Well, I could do this. Right? I could just turn my nose around because that's the direction I want to go. All right, so now we've done that. It's taken 3 or 4 seconds just to turn around. Now I can nose it over and start flying away. Well, that's kind of silly because you just got shot in the ass. So we're going to turn back around so we can face these trees. Just to give us something to orient on. All right, so we're back around where we were. Okay, I've got the aircraft stable. I'm going to trim it out just a little bit more, so I might fight the pedals here just a bit. All right, there it is. So again, I'm going to pull the nose back because I'm going to start cheating the system. I want to start going 180 degrees. I want to start going south as fast as possible, and then I'm going to let the aircraft catch up to me. All right, so I'm not going to really mess with the collective. I might oscillate it just a tiny bit. But this is going to be almost pure cyclic and pedal motion. I'm going to pull the nose back. I'm going to put in some right pedal. I'm already going the direction I want to go. See the flight path vector right there. That tells me where I'm going. Okay, we wouldn't even pedal turned around facing this direction yet, and already we're heading south. Okay, I'm gonna trim it out just a little bit here. All right, we didn't over torque it. We didn't do anything crazy. We just sort of stood the aircraft up on its tail. Not quite, you know. Don't be so dramatic about pulling back on the cyclic. But you just want to start pushing that lift vector, that arrow, back behind you. Let's do it one more time. Except this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into cruise mode just so that we can see easily how far back we're pulling that nose. And of course, as you do this, you're going to get more comfortable, and depending on the terrain behind you. So like maybe you're instead of behind some trees, you're behind a little hill, so you've got a lot of space below you. You can be a little bit more dramatic about it because you got a lot of space below you. Whereas in this situation, you know, I've got the ground right, you know, 50 or so feet below me. All right, so let's just get up here. We'll get to a nice stable hover, or roughly a stable hover. I know I got some trees back here, so I need to be careful. In fact, I'm going to bring it up just a little bit because we are kind of low. These are tiny trees. All right, go ahead and go to cruise mode. We've got our bars here. Okay, we're already at nose high, about 8 degrees or so, right? Okay, same deal. I'm gonna pull that nose back. Looks like we get about 20. Pedal turn, and we're on the go. Okay, didn't have to trim it at all. I just put in some pedal and really just manipulated the cyclic. So play around with that, see what it gets you, and once you can sort of master that move, if you will, you know, you can do all kind of permutations. You can do it to the side, you can do it, you know, whatever you need to do. But just, again, understand there's a giant, big-ass arrow sticking out of the top of your rotor system, and that's all you really need to worry about when you're talking about flying this aircraft, is keeping that arrow pointed in the direction that you want it to go. Once you get that figured out, the rest of it's pretty easy. All right, thanks for watching. Hope this didn't bore you.